You good? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another episode of Home Turf Sports Podcast. I'm Brian, he's Devin, and we're going to get this playoff kind of a reaction from last week in the preview kicked off. You know, it's probably a short show. We don't have as many games this week because a lot of our teams in the area got in the layup line this week. Got basketball kicked off, so I'm going to kick it on over to Devin. We can get you some scores from last week and get caught up with the preview of this week.
Yeah, man, nice to be back. Sorry, guys, we little technical difficulties, a problem with some internet going on tonight. But I like to say thoughts and prayers first up to the guy we did the broadcast for 93.9 WCRE. Does a Saturday morning quarterback previews tells about the scores and some games from the previous night before on Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 o'clock all throughout the playoffs too. Shout out to him and his family, praying for them. But yeah, man, like you said, some teams is on the hardwood. So we got a lot of teams on the hardwood. Not they even got a little scrimmage tournament going on that we was off air talking about. But last week we had Sherrall falling to Hampton County 28-10. Marlboro County goes on the road, puts up a fight, but ends up losing to Oceanside 24-7. Dillon beat Silver Bluff 42-7. Grays Creek over Hartsville 49-28. South Florence 43 over Bishop England 0. Hilton Head Island 31-7 over Wilson. Myrtle Beach 24-21 over West Florence in a tight one. Central still rolling, man, over East Clarendon 49-28. Richmond holds on close 48-43 against Porter Ridge. And Scotland beats Terry Sanford 49-40. So we got some teams got up in and is on the hardwood and got them squeaky shoes. And we got some teams that still got the molds on, man.
Yeah, you know, like I said, me and you were down there at the Marlboro Oceanside game. It was really, I don't think the score is indicative of how good the game was, man. The game was a really good back and forth game. Marlboro just couldn't punch a couple more into the end zone. I know they were inside the 10 at least 2 more times, maybe 3 times, where they went for touchdowns instead of maybe kicking field goals. But hey, when you're on the road playing at one of the top teams, if not the top team in the state, field goal is not going to beat them many times. So I don't blame Coach Corey Johnson for going for those. And a couple times I thought we had the right play drew up. It just didn't execute. But I think the defense really played outstanding, man. You hold them to 7 points in the second half, and really in that first half we got they forced a couple turnovers and put you in good position. And that game, I think if Marlboro scores maybe on one of those first few drives where they had the opportunity, it could turn out different. Kind of reminiscent of the Great Collegiate game earlier in the year. But, you know, hey, that's what happens when you got a young team. You know, they just haven't really learned to win those games yet. But, you know, hopefully that pays dividends for next season with pretty much 95% of your team returning.
Yeah, that was a great game. Decent atmosphere. Was in a great location. Really couldn't ask for a better venue for that game to be played at. For facilities wise, I mean, we had nice press box. Nice was one we've been in all year. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Marlboro's young team came out there, got the ball. What we talked about on there, y'all said they should have went on defense first. I said offense. They took the ball in, scored on the first drive. And then Oceanside goes 3 and out. I mean, you got a little momentum right there. But I mean, I think the turning point in that game was, I mean, they scored 14 on the extra, made it 14-7, and then they got a field goal 17-7 going into the half. I feel like right there when you had the ball before half, you should maybe just try to take the field goal, make it 17-10. If you know now, I mean, you probably take the points because you look like I'm onside kick them to come out the half. We get that, I mean, we cooking with grease. I mean, so now you don't really know about that, but I mean, if you probably could go back now, you take the field goal. But then, like you said too, Coach might have got too, I don't say conservative, but try to keep it close. Defense really kept you in that game all night long. I mean, they was on the field a lot. So, I mean, really, they've been on the field a lot this whole year, especially in the later part of the season. They having to play more than what they were earlier in the first part of the season. But, I mean, for them, like you said, they're going to return about 95% except for about 4 or 5 players and really 2 or 3 starters. They got all guys returning at the major positions. I mean, you ain't really gonna be lacking nowhere. I mean, you're losing a senior kicker, but I mean, high school football, you really don't have to have a kicker. I mean, you can go for two. I mean, anybody can kick the ball off and just kick it straight. I mean, you look at some teams, their quarterback is mostly the best athlete on the field that kicks the ball off. So they're going to have a bright future ahead. So I know their season came to an end in round 2, but hey, it was good for them. They get their first playoff win in, was it 8 years?
I actually got 2018.
2018. I actually have a stat for you. Let's see. I seen Mr. Blakeney's, this is sophomore stats, since I put on here. Passed for over 1,600 yards, 761 rushing yards, 2,400 yards total offense, 22 touchdowns, and a QBR of a 108.6. I mean,
if you tell me you're gonna get that out of a sophomore quarterback, I mean, really, what else can you ask for the kid going his first season as a starter? Man, that's big time to me. I think he's only going to grow. I think he'll grow leaps and bounds going into next year. And this team, like I done said it many times, this team's going to be very dangerous going into the next season.
Yeah, I'm looking at their stats too. I'm looking at, main one I'm looking at is that QBR. I mean, over 100. That's really insane. I mean, I think there was a game he did not play though, right?
Well, he came in only for the last 2 drives. Remember that game against?
Was it Conway?
That was Conway.
Conway, yeah. I mean, so
he was really hurt, banged up, and came in the last 2 drives. And I think we found out he had a shoulder injury, but he came in the last 2 drives, led them back to a victory, and the rest is history. But he had a really good season. So if he plays that whole game, just imagine if he throws for 150, 200 yards. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He's near, 2,000 yards.
He's pushing 2,000 yards passing as a sophomore. So, I mean, hats off to that kid. First year as a starter, you don't really know what you're gonna get out of somebody like that. But and man, too, they really developed some weapons. I mean, next year at the receiver position, when Mekhi Littles gets back, Marlboro's gonna be dangerous on the outside. It's gonna be hard for any team to match up because most high school teams don't have one really good corner to cover, much less have 3. I mean, Marlboro's going to be 3 or 4 deep on the wide receiver position next year.
Yeah, I didn't get to see. I watched the game and I didn't know who he was. How tall is that guy?
He's probably pushing.
Is he big as Leach?
No.
Okay.
He's a big kid.
Slot guy?
Yeah, he's a slot receiver. But he was playing on the outside. He's probably 5'10", 5'11". I mean, as a sophomore, though, he may grow 2 or 3 inches this next summer. You just don't never know kids these days. Man, he might shoot up, but Leach has really developed. I like him and Littles. I would line them up both on the same side with Littles in the slot.
And you just let him
That's going to put pressure on the defense, man. I mean, you see how some of the route combinations they had. It wasn't nothing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times LJ Purvis was wide open on that post corner route, coming from the slot. So this offense really puts pressure on defenses, and man, I think the future is very bright. They got to replace some rushing yards with Troy Hadley being gone, but Ray Stone is back. He's a really good running back. Maybe not the breakaway threat like Troy was, but I'm hearing that the JV has a really, really good running back on the JV team. So look for big things out of them next year on a JV team that was undefeated, first undefeated season in school history. So I mean, the talent's just stockpiled right now for Marlboro.
Yeah, and you look at it as Blakeney's going to be next year be 11th grader, and what was the JV quarterback? Was he a
7th?
JV was 7th grade?
7th grade on JV and middle school. Both of them were 7th grade quarterbacks.
Okay, so I just didn't know if those guys.
No, they're not that close.
You know what I'm saying? Where it might be bad where that guy won't never be able to play.
No. So by the time Blakeney's going out as a senior, this kid's just going to be a freshman with 3 years experience under the belt already in the same system. That's the good thing about them having the middle school team combined now is that you get in the same system in the 7th grade.
Yeah. And like you said, now I mean, you practice all year. You had those middle school teams combined, and it's all about the culture. And he's building the program now. I'm quite sure between now and next August the 1st that you'll be found a decent enough running back to give you 100 yards, 100. 50 yards a game. That's at the rush position. Because, I mean, Race can give you at least like 50 or 60 by itself. I mean, he ain't a big back, but he's a shifty back, kind of like Russell Faison. But, I mean, like he did pretty good this year, too.
Yeah, with the weapons they got on the outside, though, I mean, he's going to have some running room because the team's not going to be able to stack the box. I mean, they're going to play 3 or 4 wide receivers with, L.J. Purvis and C.J. Purvis both. You're going to have Mekhi Littles back. You're going to have LaQuincy Leach. I mean, this team is loaded with athletes. So, I mean.
That's sophomore talent, too.
Yeah, all 10th graders, going to be juniors coming in the next year. This team is, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think next year can be a special season.
Yeah, long as, you see teams, though, some teams have good players and be at the top when they're young like that. But then, as high school kids you talking about, you look up and next year, you look middle of the year and you be like, hey, we were supposed to be, ain't lost but one game or something by now. Sometimes teams like that can plummet. They can just, you just don't know.
Well, if they taste too much success at a young age, it makes them, they might think that that's just always going to be like that. But I think that this game that really heartbreak, thinking, we probably should have won that game, I think that's something that would drive them going into the off season and the next year. So I think they'll work hard because they don't want that to happen again. I think that was kind of good for the young group to play a team like that. And also, I don't think the loss is terrible because, like I said, I just think his motivation going into the next season. Then you got to look at Mekhi Littles. The season he was having before he got hurt, that kid's probably, he's probably chomping at the bit to get next season started.
Yeah, and like you said, that was a good loss. I can't say a bad. That was a good loss. You held them to 14 offensive points, really. You look at that team, at least that team that going to the offseason having to go through spring practice and some workouts next year, thinking they got their doors blown off the last game of the year. So, those guys got something to look forward to. You kind of really ended on a positive note. You lost to Loris, but, you went on that little stretch there and had defense play good, offense you really was firing on all cylinders. Really, at the end of the day, you just ran into somebody that's just really more.
Honestly, Oceanside didn't even stop your offense. Your offense went up and down the field. We just probably
stalled out.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say stalled out. I'd say went for some situation where most teams probably try to kick a field goal or maybe do something different. I'm not saying we're playing desperate, but we're playing to win. I think like going for touchdowns is what you just got to do against good teams. I don't think if you kick 3 more field goals that you still don't win the game.
Like that night we was riding back, I was like, man, why didn't he just take the points now? But if now I see kind of what he was thinking. If you go back and look at it too, the team he's got is mostly all 10th graders. He's got a chance to be back in the same situation next year, and there's a big chance this game could be in Bennettsville. You might not even be on the road.
But think about it like this. Lee Best didn't have his best, no pun intended, his best season kicking. So you don't want to put that kid out there. What if he misses a field goal and then everybody's thinking, man, he tossed us the ball game. He missed 2 field goals.
Yeah.
You don't want to put that pressure on a kid, knowing even if he makes it. So if he makes 2 field goals, you lose 24-13.
Yeah, but
you still lost by almost double digits.
Yeah.
So what does those 2 field goals do? I think he did right. I would go for touchdowns. Try to put pressure on the other side, make them make plays because I really think that they were in panic mode. They didn't think that game would be that close. The point proven as at the end of the game, they were still, with 1 second left, they still rushed to the line to try to throw another touchdown pass.
Which is insane.
To make it look worse than what it was because I guarantee you that they didn't expect that game to be like that going into it.
No, and you, like you say, panic mode. Go back and watch the film of that game. There was a lot of passes that quarterback threaded the needle, which could have went the other way. I'd say at least 5 or 6 passes. We was in the booth like, oh my God, that was so close. Half a step and he's off. He's going the other way. The quarterback, he did play good towards he made adjustments and played good the second half. But if I'm Lee Best though, I know I had a bad season. I look back though, I almost sidekicked Oceanside, and I almost really gave us a chance. Because you can't. It's really hard to ask a guy to go out there and change his formation and do what he did.
He made his only extra point kick of the night.
He did what he had to do. I mean,
everybody had to come out and, like you said, executed a perfect onside kick coming out of halftime and got the ball back with a short field. You know, they weren't able to do anything with it, but I mean, he did his part. He executed his part. So now, like you said, he's got that positive thinking. You know, his career is over, really going on to, you know, going to college just to be, you know, a regular person like everybody else and get a degree. But he can think back and say, man, I probably played one of my better games the last game I ever played.
Yeah, I mean, and we were talking about early in the season. He wasn't always kicking the ball to the end. It got better as the season went on because that game he was kicking everything to the end zone.
Right.
He wasn't letting them return nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big positive too.
Yeah, I think Heath Stowe might have been nursing it. I think he might have come back a little soon because the simple fact we didn't have anybody else at all.
He knew it was.
And he was still nursing it, so he was doing a little pooch kick because as the season went on, man, he got stronger and he had several touchbacks. But I mean, there really ain't a whole lot more to say about that game. I thought they played well. You know, it is what it is. And like I said, I just think it's going to be motivation going into the off season.
Yep. So recap of the year: Marlboro County finishes 8-4.
Yep. 8-4.
You lose to both. I mean, you lose to Oceanside, you lose to Gray, and you lose.
All 4 teams you play still playing this week for chances to go to the state championship.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You in it. I mean, you look back now. Well, you can't really ask for a better season, man. I mean, Loris has got a chance to go win this week. That's probably the best Loris football team in school history down there towards the beach area. I mean, Dylan played. I mean, you and Dylan battled. I mean, you might can be in Dylan's situation now, but I mean, I mean, sometimes it's bad draws, but wouldn't you rather go ahead and beat the hardest team early on?
So out of the 4, the 4 teams left in the lower state, you played 3 of your losses. So I mean, you didn't lose to any bad teams. You beat the teams you were supposed to beat. You were really in the game. Some of the games, like Loris, was really the only game. You were never in it. Really,
yeah, you were never in
from the get go. Gray Collegiate's in 4A. I mean, they're still in the playoffs. You know.
Yeah.
And they're rolling right now.
Now, what the guy tell us that thinks that Marlboro County's probably the hardest team to play all year.
That's the toughest game they had all year. I mean, they're in 4A, and like I said, they're rolling right now.
Yeah.
So, Marlboro, nothing to hold your head down, especially with a team full of sophomores. You know, I'm telling you, I mean, I know I said it 1,000 times probably on this podcast and just talking to people in general. This team is going to be, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with next year. I wouldn't want to be in the path of this team.
So we got, we'll finish up here. Marlboro County finishes 8-4 in the season. Finds the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. What is it?
First playoff win since 2018.
And the first time you've been since 2021?
Yeah, maybe
2021 or COVID year. So when you enter on the year, your JV team goes undefeated. Your middle school team loses 1 game. Everybody in the program really don't have nothing to really. Nobody can downplay them right now in the off season.
There's momentum.
There's momentum. I mean, you finish the season with a good loss to Oceanside. I mean, you don't want to lose, but I mean, you look at you take away the positives from that game. They're gonna have a good off season. I'm ready to talk about this team too. In the off season, I do want to kind of talk. Well, we'll probably get more into it during the spring, but we'll shift off of that if you got any more.
No, man, that's really much. I mean, we didn't even talk about how good the defense played. I mean,
we keep going because I was going to really ask you, how did you see any? Okay, you didn't know nothing about the team this year before going into the radio, right?
No.
Okay, so what was your biggest takeaway, or what have you seen from the first game you seen to the last game of the year? What was your biggest thing you have seen? Did they throw the ball better? The culture's getting back to where it used to be, like in the early 2000s.
Well, number one, he is building bringing the Bulldog culture back. Corey Johnson is hard nosed. I mean, I know he's not a Bulldog, but he's got that mentality of what Marlboro County football is. Number one surprise was the growth that I seen in Trey Blakeney. He grew. I mean, from the first, like you said, you only really had seen him up until like the Sherrall game, and Marlboro was really running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But man, just something clicked from like week 3, 4, 5. I told Chandler, I said, I don't know what's happened in these past couple of weeks, but Blakeney is just throwing the ball on the money. All of his throws are on the money. Every one of them. This was like week 5. I told Chandler, I said, something's clicked for this kid. I said, I want to see how But every week after week, I mean, you can see that's one of the reasons they went away from the wing T. We were rushing for almost 300 yards a game in the wing T. But something clicked, and they just said, okay, we're going back to the spread offense. Trey's dangerous. Spread him out. He can run the ball. I mean, and really, you had a couple of struggles in there, but really that offense took off. You had a bad game against Loris. I mean, you can really, like I told y'all after that game, I don't even watch film on that game. I mean, it's a wash. We played so bad. They probably played their best game of the year. Look, I'm not. We're moving on. I wouldn't even have watched film. I'd throw that film in the damn trash.
Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Blakeney is your biggest.
Him, and I would say the defensive front.
That's what I'm going to ask you about defense. That's why I told you when I watched Marlboro struggle.
Marlboro's always going to have a pretty good defense. I mean, from back when I played, we didn't have a good team at all, but our defense was legit.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised how dominant the defensive line was. It didn't matter who we were playing. They pretty much dominated. Loris game, like I said, that was just all around a one-off. But through the rest of the year, man, that defensive front, and we really only played a 3-man front all year. We never put 4 or 5 down there to rush. With Williams, Patrick Williams, Caden Walton, and Jay Nash, those 3 kids, I mean, I was really impressed by every single one of them.
Yeah, and you get all those guys back.
Every one of them back.
But who? Okay, your defensive line is your biggest grower of the year. Your biggest make a leap. Well, talk about a little bit about MyJ McCoy. So I graduated with his brother, so his brother was a pretty good athlete too. MyJ and him, they way different size though. I don't know. He must have got his size from his dad, and Jameek got it from his mom. But MyJ McCoy, man, we gave him Defense Player of the Week 2 or 3 times. But I also want to speak a little bit on Leighton Chavis. Both of their guys at linebacker really are a force to reckon with.
But okay, so if you take a step back, what you just said, Marlboro has somebody stand out or dominant on all 3 levels of the defense. I talked about how impressed I was with the line. You went MyJ McCoy, that's your linebacker, and then Leighton Chavis, so that's your safety.
Yeah.
So that's big for a defense. If you got a guy on every level of your defense who can make a play at any time, man, Leighton Chavis, he come out like game busters in the first couple of weeks. He was laid low there for a few weeks. You didn't hear a lot about him, and then bam, he's right back on the scene. He'll be a senior next year. He's gonna be a kid that you're gonna look up and be watching a game on college football one day, and you say, damn, he played at Marlboro, but because he plays with that effort. Like if you go back and watch, if you think, I mean, how many times have you seen a pile of people in the 20s getting up off the pile, 20s on the pile, 20s on? He's involved somehow in almost every play, and that's what a coach loves about a player. Anybody who runs to the ball like he does, and he's involved in some kind of way, you just gotta love it.
Yeah, you look at that jerker too. I like to know his in the stats and tackles. I was with you for the last 4 games. I think he had 2 interceptions.
Yeah,
I believe he did.
And you wasn't even at one game.
He ran 6. Yeah, but it got called back. But yeah, same thing. I mean, he's still like you say, he's still in the mix. He's in there somewhere. That's what I'm saying. If somebody ain't hitting somebody ain't.
Not to mention, I mean, they threw him at tight end several times and threw him deep. I mean, passes, 30, 40-yard passes down the field. I mean,
one play was against Loris. It was like a 4th and 20, I believe. Or was it against Waccamaw?
That was Waccamaw.
Yeah, and he come up with a first down.
Yeah.
It's like you said, he slipped him out there at tight end. They thought he was blocking. He slipped out. Which he's a tight end. He's got the size to be a tight end too. But next year, I think you really ain't gonna need a tight end.
Man, tight ends. If you can play, if you do have somebody
maybe playing H-back too.
It's definitely a mismatch. Yeah, he's gonna be a mismatch because there's not many teams in the state of South Carolina. I don't care if it's 1A to 5A that can really guard 4 or 5 receivers. It's just tough at a high school level.
Yeah,
it's tough in the damn NFL.
Yeah.
This week, I was listening to a podcast today. The Eagles played. They said their defense is playing better than anybody in the NFL right now, and they're going to have a damn tough time matching up with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Jake Ferguson. So that tells you, even in the NFL, there's still matchup problems. I mean, you just can't match up with athletes like that.
Maybe that might be a big thing Corey needs to think about too. Maybe trying to play him both ways, or maybe play him more at tight end with, like you said, with a mismatch. You probably got a better chance of him being more. I can't say being more productive because he's a force on defense too. playing on offense and maybe just developing a safety.
They slip him out there probably 5 to 10 plays a game, you know, and that might grow next year. But he's just so important to that defense, man. It's hard to it's just hard to pull him off the defense. You don't want to, you know, waste his energy just running down the field if he's not getting the ball. That's why almost every time you see him on offense, that they throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
Because you just don't want him running routes, and then you got 3 and out, and he's wore out on defense.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got any? I'm gonna end it like this with this team. I didn't know nothing about this team. A few people told me this team would probably lose 3 or 4 games this year, and I said, you know what? And they told me the losses, and I said, you know what? You're probably right about that, but I could see them maybe winning one they weren't supposed to win. Because like we said, we thought, I think I picked Dillon to win the region. You picked Loris. That's the case. Only way I realized I figured they would lose 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 5 really. That's because of what they lost last year. I mean, they lost some very talented guys last year at the levels. But credit to those guys and that coaching staff for saying, hey, if the public, if they went at the game last year, nobody really, this team ended the season early. You know what I'm saying? Like around what, week 5, week 6.
Yep.
Nobody knows who we got. They don't know all the 2s and 3s. It's gonna be this year. They was ones, and they was big ones. They come out as stars. They play like stars every time when their name was called. And I credit them. I credit the coaching staff for producing those players and getting them ready to go with all the nonsense and outside air and stuff that happened last year.
I'm gonna put this in your ear, and when it happens, say, he told me. Now with an open transfer, there's a running back somewhere in this area that's gonna want to play on that offense. Yeah. I'm just telling you right now, because with the 4 receivers like they got, whoever's that running back is gonna have a really good season next year. And well, I'm telling you, somebody somewhere is probably gonna be making some phone calls now because there's open transfer in high school football, and it's not illegal anymore.
Yeah. I know one of one.
There too. He's right across the state line in Lawrenceburg. Do not be surprised. Yeah, I'm telling you right now. Do not be surprised. Corey Johnson from Scotland.
Yeah.
Do not be surprised.
I can see that happening, but I can see tempers flaring and smoke coming out ears if that was that.
It don't matter. They don't play no more.
But they definitely won't play no more today.
No, they ended that series. I'm just telling you. Right now, the fans are really upset with Scotland. We can get into them if you want to.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to try to shift off that. I was going to shift into that too. Let's keep going. We'll shift on that one.
I was going to say, I told you 2 weeks ago that, just my opinion, staying right here in Lawrenceburg, there's no talk about this football team. Their region, playing for the region championship. They was going to the region championship game.
Lost 12-6.
Lost 12-6. 0 word about this team on the streets. You don't hear nobody talking about it at Walmart. Everybody's not wearing the Scotland football shirts around. It's just very abnormal for a town or a city that loves their high school football, that a team that is this good, that there's just no talk around town about it.
Yeah, it's really kind of a shell shock because, and
look what comes out in the paper today.
Yeah, you look at that article, what's it say?
Second round of the playoffs, you got 125 people in the stands.
And the half and half.
The half and half was $102.
And you only get $51.
The winner got $51.
Yeah, see, like I was saying, man, you used to have to get to that. I remember when you used to watch when we were playing, we had to leave early. That's the only game you really had to leave early because it's hard to find a parking spot and it's hard to find a seat. So, I've been over there many times where I had to stand up.
Me too.
So, it's kind of really of a shell shock that they fell off. And, you look at that game, I got the score here. They win 49-40. Your running back scores 7 touchdowns, and nobody's talking about it.
278 yards rushing as a freshman.
As a freshman, I don't understand how.
Can you imagine having that in that offense at Marlboro next year?
Man, I do that, Luke.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. I don't have any outside information. I'm just telling you the way the world works. These kids. When I was in high school, if you went to Marlboro, you hated Scotland, you hated Straw, you hated
Dillon. Like that no more.
Now, all these kids play travel ball together. They play AAU basketball together. They're all friends. They all talk. They trying to build a team that they all want to win.
Yeah. I feel like now, kid, it ain't even really coaches no more trying to get players.
No,
it's kids. It's the play.
They talk to each other every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody really hates somebody no more.
No, we legitimately hated our. I mean,
yeah.
We had a curfew in McCall because every time the kids from Longbury come to McCall, we fought or we throw stuff at the cars. I mean, we really, you just hated kids from the, I mean, that's just the way you were raised.
Yeah.
Hell, when we got to the high school, you hated kids from Bennettsville and Wallace at your own high school. There were so many fights when I first got to high school because they had only been open 3 or 4 years because you just hated the other towns, but that's your rival.
Yeah.
It took a long time to build that camaraderie, man, and like I said, all that's out the window now. Kids all want to be friends and play together, which is fine. I don't get you. Go where what you think's best for you, make you most successful. But I'm just telling you, don't be surprised if the starting running back in Marlboro next year is not on the current roster.
Yeah, I mean,
whether it's Scotland, Dylan.
Yeah, I figured they'd get a few in.
I'm just telling you.
I figured they'd get you in. Well, like you said about the camaraderie, we'll finish your mark. Like I said, I tried to finish it 3 times.
I thought we had done moved into the Scotland.
Yeah, well, we can slide on. Well, props to Corey and them. You get to the second round, you win your first game. Any more thoughts on Marlboro? We get.
No, man, that's it. We went long enough on that.
Congrats to those guys. Have a good season on Hardwood. I think they went 1-1 tonight. So if you ain't playing basketball and you play football, go help those guys out. Yep. Sherrall at Hampton County loses 28-10. I mean, I spoke to inside source. Really said they had to keep it within the 20s to win that game. I mean, you look at Hampton County; they was really in the top 5 all year in 2A. It really 2 schools combined into one. They got 2 or 3 good athletes on the outside. I think he had 2 touchdowns and a pick 6, so he really got it done for them. Well, he scored 21 out there, 28 all night. I don't think the offense. Sherrall's offense really didn't get going. So, yeah. They got upended and now they're playing basketball too.
I really, to be honest, their defense must have played well. I mean, because that game was 21-0 early. Quick.
Yeah.
Or something like that, 21-7 maybe. But, so Sherrall's defense really settled in and played good. I don't know if Hampton County just, went to that. You just kind of run the ball, try to run the clock out, shorten the game. But, it jumped out to a pretty good lead early, and then it just stayed there for a while. So I think Sherrall's defense made some adjustments and made some plays, but I've been telling you all year there was just too much pressure on Nick Gordon to have to do it all. They needed to find that second guy, and I just don't think it ever came to fruition. But that's what the off season's for. I look for Sherrall to be right back there playing for a region championship again next year. I think they really got to find their quarterback. Talking to Coach Poole, off air and really off record, he said he thinks he's got a guy. JV guy's gonna be pretty good. So hopefully that works out for him. And is the running back is the juicy?
Yeah, that only spot you're gonna be really trying. I mean, like you said, I know you was talking about having to get somebody outside of Nick. They knew that was gonna be a big issue for the whole year. So they have their other guys they've been developing all year. I mean, let's put them out there. I mean, it ain't hurt because somebody double teaming Nick.
Yeah.
Just run them out there, give them a few catches, get them out, get them back in. So I mean, they've been developed. They're gonna be good at skill position. All you're really gonna lose on offense is I think maybe one lineman, and you're gonna lose KT at quarterback. But the backup quarterback did pretty good, and when he was out there, which he's gonna be a true dual threat guy that can kind of like Blaney, that can pull it and just go to the house if he needs to. So, which it can be hard. That's going to be the biggest thing for them is developing him and getting him ready for next year. And then you lose your kicker. They gave you a lot of points too this year. The whole defense will be back, so they're not really losing much either. So I look for them to be right back in the mix, like you said, for the region championship, competing again next fall. Yeah.
So hats off to Coach Poole. He's always got his guys right there. They're always going to be, second, third round of the playoffs. So, he does it every year in, year out. And like I said, look for those guys to be right back next year. It's always hard when you got to replace your starting quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, he thinks he's got his guy. But you just got to, you never know until they under the Friday night lights what they're going to do. They can come in as a backup and play well, but until you get out there and you're the man and the pressure's all on you, you don't know how kids react. Some kids just feed off of the moment, and hopefully that's what happens with draw when they bring the new kid up. Evidently he played. He's a JV quarterback. He didn't get any snaps on the varsity, huh?
He got some the McBee game. He got some maybe 2 or 3 games.
Okay,
wasn't much. The Buford game, he probably played. I wouldn't say no more than 10 quarters on the varsity level.
Okay. That's fine. I mean, that's something that's film that you can go back and look at and evaluate.
There's probably something built off of there.
Yeah, so, like I said, kudos to Coach Poole, man, and for getting those guys. I mean, they're always, like I said, second, third round of playoffs. You can count on them to be there. I think they got a bad draw, really. I mean.
Yeah. You look at them, they like the Central game they played, we was talking about it now, we wanted to go to that game, but it just didn't work out. That game was like a 1-score game all the way to the end. That's what the final, it was like 6 or 7 point difference. But I mean, you look, they would have got Central's draw. They're playing this week.
That's right.
They're playing this week with a good chance to even be playing next week. But good season for those guys, seniors. What I should have said is about all the teams we covered. Seniors, I know some of you might be your last game. It's kind of sad. I mean, I've done it. He's done it. You always got to look back on these memories, man. Just make the memories while you can. That's really the only thing you got to live for and talk about whenever you get older.
Yeah, man, I agree. Like I said, you don't think about it in the moment, but looking back now, man, I wish I would have done some things different in my playing career. But just suck it all in and play every game like it's last, because you don't never know when it will be. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. It really sucks. It sucks in the moment, but it really sucks. Like let's say you end the game on a Friday night and you come back to school on Monday. I've seen people make these TikToks, happens every year. Say you're going home this year at 3. Now you're going home at 3. You ain't going home at 6 no more. If you practice early and stuff like that. But good luck to those guys going to the basketball season too. Silver Bluff was at Dillon. Dillon's rolling, man. They really
they got a good draw.
Yeah, they definitely got a good draw. Here, 42-7 over Silver Bluff. But they will have a big contest this week. Before I get into it, give me the Wildcats. The upset the Land Sharks.
Man, I'd like to see it. I just get the feeling that Oceanside's going to play one of their better games. I think they kind of come out and got caught sleepwalking. I think it was late in the game before they ever woke up.
What happened last week, there was somebody out there walking their dog on the beach.
Yeah.
And the Land Shark was out there up on the beach. And he was just laying around. And he wasn't in, and he was trying to get back in the water.
Yeah.
But he couldn't breathe.
I would love to see that. And Dillon's capable of winning this game. I just think that that might have been the wake-up call that Oceanside needed last week against Marlboro. I'm telling you, I think in the second quarter they were in panic mode.
Yeah. You look them the other night also. It ain't good to have a bad game now.
No.
They
had enough talent that they could get by with it, but I just like I said, if you look at that team warming up, man, I told you, I said, man, there's some dudes.
You looked at 88 too. He looked like Megatron. He caught one. I said, dang.
You said he thought he was Dez Bryant.
I said, yeah. And he caught one too. Yeah. I said, dang.
That number 0, defensive tackle, defensive end, he's a grown man. I mean, they got some dudes, man.
Oh, yeah. When you can pull from 4,000 to 6,000 players.
Yeah, I think they underestimated Marlboro a little bit, and it almost caught up with them. They can't play that. If they play like that this week, Dillon will beat them.
Well, I bet you those guys going into Monday, their pre-practice speech, coach will probably said, "Y'all boys lucky.
Yeah,
we about been having hang them up."
Yeah. So I'm pulling for Dillon for one, and I know they can win. I'm not. I think Oceanside wins this game by probably about the same score as the Marlboro.
I mean, you look at this region though. Newberry's they left. That one team left in that region. Dillon and Loris is still in, and Marlboro had to play Oceanside. So I mean, this was probably the strongest region out of 3A, Lower State.
Well, I mean, when we were watching the preview show going into the Swansea game, that guy, the coach and the guy both were saying Marlboro's region is loaded. I mean, our region is very well respected in the state of South Carolina. You can see it by Dillon and Laura still playing, and Marlboro putting up a
And
really
you
good
speaking
fight.
of, like you saying the thing, you had, I mean, Ainger's usually a bunch of guys, is cornbread guys. They're usually not that bad.
Right.
And Georgetown hasn't always been as bad as they are last year and this year, honestly. So I mean, that was really always been a tough little region for the most part.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Oceanside wins the game. I'm definitely pulling for Dillon to win the game. But I'm just not ready to pick them because they've had some flat moments too. Now Dillon, they've had some games this year. You're like, how in the world they lose that game?
Yeah, you look at
that all comes with a freshman quarterback, man. I mean, you never know the little things that's going to affect him from day to day. I mean, he's 14, maybe 15 years old now.
Well, Sam Fung he's at Georgia this week on his visit. So, well, no, we're gonna have to see, man.
So he plays Oceanside Friday night, and then going to Georgia Saturday. So what if? I mean, he's 15 years old, maybe. So what if all he's thinking about Friday? Man, I'm gonna be at Georgia tomorrow. I got a big game at Georgia tomorrow.
He better hit a little detour.
I'm just saying, you know how kids
Yeah.
are.
Oh yeah.
He's got to be 100% dialed in Friday night, and he's a young kid. Maybe he's got that capability, but I mean, it's hard.
Oh yeah.
With all the attention he's receiving. Hopefully he has a good game. I want Dillon and Loris both to win. I want it to come down to our region next week. So see who's going to the state championship game.
Oh yeah, man. Well, Hartsville gets beat 49-28, so they're done. And like we said earlier, Gray's still rolling. So Gray will move on. South Lawrence beats.
They're rolling.
They rolling too. Wilson season's over. They're definitely bouncing basketballs. They probably was bouncing on Saturday morning early. Myrtle Beach closes the door on West Florence and ends their season 24-21. I mean, this game they played early in the season, and that was a 42-38 matchup. So I mean, they both played twice this year. And those games have been close both times.
That's two evenly matched games, man. Those teams. Hey, I think both games were at Myrtle Beach too, right?
Well, the first one's at West.
Oh, was it? Okay. So I mean, hey, kudos to Myrtle Beach, Mickey Wilson. I mean, those guys, Myrtle Beach is always usually pretty tough, but I think the road stops Myrtle Beach this week. I mean,
who they got?
I don't know. I'm just saying, West Florence turned out not to be that great. They played a tough schedule, but I just look for Myrtle Beach's season to come to an end this Friday night. I don't even know who they play. I just know 4A football down to the third round. Could be great.
Whew. No, Gray's 4A.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach is too, correct?
Myrtle Beach 5A.
5A.
West Florence is 5A. Tell you who they got.
Ooh.
That's up.
Is it Hilton Head?
Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is Berkeley.
Berkeley.
Yeah. I think they're, yeah. Berkeley, I'll take Berkeley. And left on that with Teal, Hannah, Indyland, Northwestern, and Gaffney. That should be a good one. Irmo and Whitenall. So I'm looking at Irmo, Northwestern playing next week for Upper State, probably Berkeley and maybe Teal, Hannah might pull the upset. Yeah. So we got Richmond gets lucky and wins 48-43 against Porter Ridge. What about that one-handed catch?
I mean, that's awesome.
I'm quite sure y'all seen it.
Man, that was a heck of a play.
I've seen a lot of that in Sports Center Top 10.
Yeah, that needs to be on there.
Yeah, I've seen that. I see people in the comments and at the Sports Center.
Yeah.
I think look at the coach, man. You know what he said.
Yeah, he don't know. He said, how the hell can we stop that?
And then you look back at the film, those guys ran into the safety and the DB. Yeah, the corner, they ran into each other.
Yeah, it made it even worse. Insult to injury.
Yeah, man, Scotland, they get it done at home too, 49-40, like we said earlier. Guys, 7 touchdowns. You said 278 yards of offense. Of rushing for that guy. Next week, man, what you taking here? We got Central be at Philip Simmons for the 2-8.
I'll take Central. Philip Simmons barely got by.
I think they won by 20.
Didn't he? Was it like 41-21, something like that, or
Was it Atlantic?
Yeah, Atlantic Collegiate.
Yeah. I just don't really know about Philip Simmons, honestly.
I'm gonna take Central.
I'm just gonna roll with Central. I feel like Philip Simmons might win, but I'm just gonna take the local guys. Central. I'm gonna take Dillon.
I'm gonna take Oceanside.
Oceanside.
Yeah.
I'm taking local here. South Florence here over North Augusta gonna be at home.
Yeah.
I've been telling people Richmond over Independence this week, but I don't know. They played too close. I think their season might come to an end this week too.
On the road,
Independence.
I'm gonna take Independence.
Okay. I'll take both. I think Scotland's season comes to an end this week. They had one seed Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game because Scotland's defense really hasn't showed up here, too much. But they can score if it gets into a shootout. Scotland's got a shot, but I'm gonna go with Jacksonville as well.
Furman and Clemson.
Ah, man, that's a toss up, ain't it? I'm gonna take Clemson.
I'm gonna take Clemson cover spread. South Carolina cover the spread against Coastal.
Yeah, they do.
You think they do? All right. All right, guys. That'll do it for tonight's podcast. We'll be on with you guys next week to react and recap to round 3 of the South Carolina High School League playoffs, and we'll see who will be practicing on Thanksgiving morning, that's really the goal when you start every year of every season. But y'all guys have a safe weekend. We'll do as well. He's Brian. I'm Devin. Peace out, guys.
Good night.